I suppose we'll see how it sounds in the end. This is mostly for my sake. I'm just going to talk in a couple of distinct manners. Especially in the usual manner that I do, but also a little bit to this side and a little bit to this side. Just to see how the audio sounds, so now I can check that. Whenever I check the VOD. Hey, Akira. Akira Suru. Come on. Stop hitting me. Hi, Zed Slayer. Thank you, as always, Mr. Red. I will go ahead and put that towards Dragon Quest IV. Getting that on the list. At no funding. Oh, sorry. It's a long game. What do you want from me? Oh, right, I need to go this way first. Good morning, McDud. You finished the MSQ already? That's, actually a little sad. Like, I'm guessing it's chopped up or something? I mean, I'm out of date. I'm 2 MSQs behind at this point. 2 or 3. Why would you level War after Stormblood? Hello, Cyberleaf. Hello, Jesse's Ward. Jesse Ward. Excuse me, I thought there was an S there. My bad. I'm going blind in my old age. Can't see. Still debating just going ahead and buying a pad for the chat. I haven't decided yet. I might actually ask my sister and her husband if they have like a spare pad that they don't care about. That I could just hook up to Twitch and just stare at the chat, you know? Oh yeah, I heard about that. We're technically doing both, Crazy Norse, which I suppose brings me to negatives. But first, let's get the quest item. The goddess biddeth thee welcome to our sanctum, her most hallowed sanctuary. As our divine mistress did command, thou hast sought out both rain and sun. Now let the twain meet at last. Brave hero, in the name of the Most High, I hereby bestow upon thee the blessed rainbow drop. And that's it. We now have access to the final dungeon, the actual final dungeon. And the only thing left to do is the final dungeon and the final boss, and that is everything. You're probably thinking, okay, well, why is that a negative? I've been grinding for an hour and a half off camera. We're level 36, 33, 31, and 31. Every guide I've read said you have to be a bare minimum of 40, and a friend of mine actually loaded his save last night and noticed and told me what level he was, which was 38 or 39, depending on which character. It was 38 on the main character. So... part of the problem here, and by that I mean all of the problem here, is this is the exact same problem that both Dragon Quest I and Dragon Quest II had. You get to the end of the game, and then you stop playing because the game arbitrarily requires you to be X level in order to beat the game. And this is the purest form of padding. Now, what really irritates me is I was really, looking forward to adding a positive for the Alefgard section, and I may still do that from a narrative perspective. But from a gameplay perspective, this is maybe 15 minutes of gameplay, which is being stretched out so far to about 3 hours. And all of that 3 hours is just running in a circle leveling. You know? Now, as much as I don't want to keep piling negatives on, we need to talk about post-game. So let's describe post-game, shall we? And I'll let you decide what you think of this. And I do want your input. I do want everyone's responses here. So you beat the boss, and then you go, and it's like, hey, you can go to heaven. It's like, cool, Zenithia, by the way. I forgot the name, but it's called Zenithia. So it's like, all right, let's go to Zenithia. Cool. So you go all the way up to Zenithia. It's a very long dungeon, which is even harder than the last dungeon. But that's fine, whatever. And you make your way up, and it's like, hey, you've made it. And, you know, there's the angels are there, and the dragon god is there. Everyone's there. They're all cool. They're like, hey, you want to fight the optional boss? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll fight the optional boss. Okay. The minimum recommended level for fighting the optional boss is 60. Hang on, I'm not done yet. So, you successfully defeat the optional boss. Notice I didn't say super optional, by the way. You successfully defeat the optional boss. Now, you have to defeat him in, I think, 30 turns? I forget the exact number. I can look it up, because I still got it up over here. Okay, so you need to defeat it. The first time you need to defeat him in 35 turns. The second time you need to defeat him in 25 turns. And the third time you have to defeat him in for 15 turns. Now, each one of these attempts gives you a wish, okay? Now, one of these wishes is a new side game thing, which I don't think applies in this version. One of these wishes gives you a 3-second text bite from your dad. Seriously, that's all it gives you. It doesn't even give you a cutscene. It's just like, hey, your dad's here. One of them gives you the Naughty Book, which changes your personality to Vamp. You know, the personality we have. Yeah, at the very, very, very end of the game. By the way, as a reminder, personalities change your stat growth. You can also get rare medals, which is another thing. And, most importantly, you can ask for Unknown. If you ask for Unknown, that unlocks the actual super optional dungeon. The Ice Cave. Now, the Ice Cave has this whole thing, which I think doesn't actually apply in this version, thank God. Where you need a certain number of monster medals in order to get through, which let's not even get into that. But thankfully, that's not even in this version, so we're just going to bypass that. So you go in, you get some gear, and there's all sorts of evil, horrible stuff. The Ice Cave is one of those bosses are trash mobs kind of places. But when you get to the end, you find the Grand Dragon. The Grand Dragon is stronger than the optional boss. The Grand Dragon is the super optional. Now, thankfully, you don't actually have to kill him in an X amount of turns, but that is the final goal. You defeat him, and you get the strongest sword in the game, which, as usual, is worthless at that point in time. And if you beat him in 25 rounds, you get his thing, and then you have successfully beat the game. So you have to beat the super optional in 25 rounds. And that's post-game. So what do you think? Since no one's saying anything. First, check something. Hey, Dream Whisperer. So anyways, that's a negative. I'm sorry. One dungeon, which isn't even a new dungeon. No new gimmicks, no new mechanics. It's just actually pieces of old dungeons with new encounters and new treasure. That's it. Zenithia, which is admittedly kind of cool. The optional boss with the turn thing, which is a Dragon Quest standard. And then another dungeon, which has no content other than to zip through it and defeat the super optional. And tack on about 20 levels of late game grind. 20 levels. I know that may not sound like a lot. I want you to consider that 20 levels is more than half of any of my character's level right now. It's actually closer to 2/3 in several cases. Hey, we actually get a rainbow this time. Yeah, 20 levels is gargantuan in a Dragon Quest game. Any Dragon Quest game. There are some games where you don't get 20 levels, period. No, you're supposed to grind after the post-game. Now, you're probably thinking, hang on, Lore, why do you know all this stuff? Are you dumb and stupid? The answer may surprise you. But I was looking up leveling methods to try and speed up the leveling that I'm doing right now, right? I mean, that's up to you, but it's the same version, said Slayer, so... At least the 1 through 3 are the same version. If there's any changes, I'm not aware of them. Oh yeah, by the way, the Sphere of Light right there, that's actually optional. But if you don't use it, the last boss requires about 15 more levels. Anyways, so... since we had plenty of time to talk here, so I was looking up leveling methods, right? And everybody was listing how to super optimally metagame min-max the exact number of experience you need to gain hundreds of thousands of experience as fast as possible. And I'm sitting there thinking, God, that's insane. Why do you need that level of min-maxing? But then I started reading the specifics of what they require, and I noticed a common thread. Every single one of those super min-max methods require you to already be in the 40s. You notice I'm not even 40 on my highest level. And are specifically designed to get you set up for the post-game, because all of them require you to be in post-game. To be at the point where you've already beaten the last boss. And that got me thinking, wait, why do people need to grind so much for the post-game? And that got me looking into the post-game specifics, and here we are. So as much as this actually pains me, that being stated, I don't think I'm going to come up with any other gameplay negatives, but that's going to put us at 7 gameplay negatives, which I stand behind. Get flack for this one. That also brings us up to 6 gameplay positives. Hey, Vlad Musco. Did I say hi already? Sorry. Just typing up stuff over here, don't mind me. So, unless anything changes by the end game, this is pretty much where we're at on score. +6, -1 total. But let's go spend another hour leveling. No, really, we're going to go to the last dungeon and then we're going to run in a circle for a bit. That's my life right now. I wanted to do as much of this off camera as possible because, honestly, I would love to beat this game basically now. Then I could get the rumination done, then I could go help my sister, then we could start tracking her tomorrow. That would line up pretty much perfectly with the schedule. But to be 100% clear, because I get this accusation periodically, this is bad regardless of whether I have a day or a year or a week to beat this game. This is literally, I'm at the last dungeon, let's run in a circle for a few hours, or however long this takes, in order to be capable of crossing the finish line. That's where we're at. That's this. And if you've been paying attention, we had to do the same thing in 1, we had to do the same thing in 2. In 1, we literally walked back and forth in front of the final boss to level. I shouldn't have roamed that far from the entrance. And yeah, I know you could say it's tradition, you could say there's nothing wrong with grinding, you could say whatever the hell you want about this. I am sorry. This is, in my opinion, bad design. It's even more egregious in some games, where it's like, you're totally fine, and then, oh, go grind, right at the end. It's like, but you smoothed out the whole game, so I didn't have to stop playing at any point in time. But now? I have to run in a circle? What would really make this worse is if there was no staircase leveling. Which just would be awful. I mean, in literal mathematical terms, if there was no staircase leveling, this game would be another gameplay negative up. But yeah, I'm not going to try and push it. We're going to push for a bare minimum of 38 on the hero before we try to go through. Actually, I can check something. Oh, it doesn't tell me? Oh, it does, it does. Oh my god! No. No, 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 no. So the specific recommendation, because levels are kind of vague in this game, because you can reset your level. So the specific recommendation, because the game keeps track of how much experience you've gained total, is to make sure you have at least 1 million experience on your characters. If you're paying attention to that number, I have about 400,000. AKA not even halfway there. In all and total sincerity, I may accept not beating this game. We'll see how this goes. Like, I'm okay with that. And that's something, and I want to talk about that really quick, because that's something I had to learn as I got older, believe it or not. How many of you have ever had food in the fridge that you've pretty much insisted on eating, even though it's either starting to go bad, or it tastes terrible, or you hate it? How many of you have ever gone out to a restaurant and ordered something, and you insist on finishing up your plate, or taking all the leftovers home? There's another example. Or I'm trying to think of another parallel that doesn't involve video games or food. Because the mentality is... I'm trying to think how to phrase this. The mentality is because you're supposed to, right? Because that's what you have to do. And it took me years. This is something I'm still learning, to be completely honest. But it took me years to get to the point in my life where I realized it's okay to not waste my time or effort on certain things. It's okay to say, you know what? I'm good. Hi, Jazzy Too Good. See, I'm not Jazzy Too Good, I'm just good. I don't know how to explain this mentality. If you don't understand it, I don't know how to explain it to you. But at a certain point, you start to realize maybe this is not worth the investment. Right? It's not worth the time, it's not worth the stomachache, it's not worth the bloat, it's not worth the unpleasantness. It's just something that it's okay to accept that mathematically and economically this is no longer worthwhile. And since sunk cost fallacy is a economic mentality, I suppose that would qualify. This is a little different from sunk cost fallacy, though, because sunk cost fallacy is specifically the presumption of value. Whereas what I'm talking about is more like the realization of lack of requirement, is the only way I know how to put that. I can even tell you the specific thing that made me realize this. This was actually about 4 years ago now. How many of you have ever been to Five Guys? For those of you who haven't been to Five Guys, if you get... It's a burger joint here in the States. It's a chain. I just love having Five Guys in my mouth. There we go. Okay, get the joke out of the way. But, look, we're discussing negatives and not beating games. So... when you get Five Guys, it's like, hey, here, you want some fries with that? And the fries are pretty cheap, all things considered. But if you get a thing of fries, even if you get a small thing of fries, they give you, like, this much fries spilling out over the cup, and then they just throw fries into the bag. It's a gargantuan number of potatoes sacrificed to that fries, right? 4 years ago, I was out with Third, just having Five Guys, and we were chatting, and we were getting ready to go to the movie, and I was just sort of completely automatically eating the fries. I didn't like them. I don't actually like Five Guys fries that much. But I was eating through the fries and trying to finish them before we got to the movie. I was full. I didn't want the fries. I didn't like them that much. But I was just sitting there eating them. Maybe I probably got a bad batch. I've had good Five Guys fries, but these were bad. And it just sort of clicked in a way I don't know how to describe other than just a light bulb moment of, why am I eating this? Now, I can explain the food thing specifically. I've been starving. More than once in my life. I've actually been in a state of starvation more than once in my life. And a mentality I only very recently have started to get out of is the mentality that you do not waste food. Period. That food has to be consumed because you don't know when your next meal is going to show up. And that mentality is something I didn't even realize had been so burned into me. But as I sat and analyzed several instances of the last, 15 years, I realized, yeah, no, there's plenty of times where I would eat food when I probably shouldn't have because it was there and you don't waste food, right? And so, yeah, I'm sitting there with Third and I'm just like... And I just stop in the conversation and he's like, what? And I'm like... As I'm processing everything I'm telling you guys, it's just, what the hell? How did you... But you... It's okay to not eat this. It was such a weird revelation. So, I can actually explain that one, Gigi's. That's a separate thing that I've learned over time. You ever had good Subway? Because I have. I've had really, really good Subway. It's so good, I could probably have that Subway every day, no joke, and be very happy with it. You ever have bad Subway? This is something I discovered a lot longer ago. This is like my high school, college years range. When I realized that even amongst a franchise, there are specific good iterations and bad iterations. You treasure the good ones, because those bad ones, ugh, it's terrible. So anyways, this is a bad Five Guys. But yeah, the point is, getting back to the modern time here, I'm okay with leaving this being a mark on my record. I'm okay with saying I didn't beat Dragon Warrior 2, or Dragon Quest 2, on the Switch. Because at this point, I will 100% guaranteed beat this game if I just sit here and turn my brain off for X hours. This is not a difficulty thing. This is not a... what's his name? What was the dude in Sekiro I couldn't beat? I can't think of his name. Anyways, there's a boss in Sekiro I couldn't beat. Now that was me. I couldn't do it. Now I might have been able to beat that guy. Maybe. No, not the priest guy. The main villain, narratively speaking. His name I can't think of. You know, the guy that I sequence broke like 5 times to avoid fighting. Anyways, the point being, sorry, getting back to my point. The point being, in that case, in that specific circumstance, it was entirely feasible that I would not be capable of beating that game, so we cheated. You know, when it comes to Bloodborne, it's entirely possible we will not be able to beat the game, so we have cheats available, right? This is not that. This is a guarantee. That's so bullcrap. So you may or may not have noticed they used a spell called Blow Away, which literally knocks one of your party members out of the party. Yes, they do this. This is how you get your party member back. You go all the way back here. I want you to think about that for a second. Anyways, this is a guaranteed win, is what I'm trying to say. The only requirement for beating Dragon Quest III is time. Now I'm going to make the attempt. But if we get through this last dungeon, and we run into another point of, yeah, this is ridiculous, and this isn't happening, I'm going to work on the rumination, and I'm going to go ahead and accept that this is a unflagged, and while that's going to sting, and it is, this will join the ranks of, I think, 2 other games we haven't completed. I'm still going to accept that because of everything I've been talking about, that this is literally reaching the point where this is not worth my time. I'll tell you the ending right now. No, I won't. I don't want to spoil it in case we actually get it. But I know the ending, because I've gotten the ending before. It's nothing special. In fact, there's one of the only story negatives is going to come up during the last dungeon. It probably won't be a full negative, but we'll debate that when we get there. And yeah, if it comes down to it, I'll try to bring up a YouTube. See if there is a YouTube of this version of the game. Oh, I'm sorry, Narset. I actually saw that question. I mean, I suppose the answer is always yes, but I'll be completely honest. I never pay attention to the specifics. So I have absolutely no idea what the specifics are of the latest expansion. Who knows? Someday I may actually beat a Stellaris match. That's true. We could probably find the SNES or the GBC quality ending. Show that off. Maybe you shouldn't lurk at work. I'm just kidding. Lurking at work is the best place to lurk. You think this is bad, McDud? The next game is so much worse. At least by memory. I should keep adding that. This is... I will admit, I wasn't expecting this negative of a gameplay. I really wasn't. I was expecting this to be the Dragon Warrior, which is like, yeah! And instead it's like, oh god, why am I still playing this stupid game? Remember how I mentioned my enjoyment has been going down the longer I played? That hasn't stopped. We're not at that point yet where it's stopped going down. Thank you very, very much, Reldon. Looks at work. Love the name, by the way. I really do. Very, very much appreciate. Always appreciate those subs and support. Thank you. If you know where you want that to go, other than towards no longer having to sand the car, let me know. Thank you. And Takoida has a valid point, but, I mean, we've seen times where older games get overhauled to the point where, you know, they fix problems, right? I mean, hell, they did fix problems. That's what really makes me sad. Remember, the whole reason we're playing this specific version of the game is because this is better than the NES version. That makes me sad. Like, I was expecting this whole thing to be smoothed out, you know? Hell, even FF4 on the DS, or the PC more accurately, has a mode which is, oh, you want to grind less? And it's just a freaking toggle. It's just a toggle. Just a story beat, Wilking, which I don't want to spoil yet, but we'll get there. There is a story beat in the last dungeon, which I remember as being... really... Yeah, the stupid thing, and this is what pisses me off about, so many times when we give negatives to gameplay, we like to criticize and critique, right? We like to say, this is bad, here's how you do better. What's so frustrating about this problem is it is so easy to fix. In fact, there's so many easy ways to fix it. Add an exp multiplier. That's the cheapest and simplest thing to do. Just add a frickin' additional variable that says times X. Shazam! That, by itself, and that would be such a joke to do, would smooth this whole thing over considerably. If you want to be more specific, if you want to put actual work and effort into it, you can rebalance the specifics of, like, the table. The experience tables and what stat ups they get at which levels, and just try to change the overall progression curve, right? To the point where it's like, okay, you should be here, and then here, and then here, and then done! Now, that takes more work and more effort, but you can do it! You could also, if you want to, go down and change the tables for each enemy encounter to change how much exp they give. Now, that would also be more work. You could also do all of these things. And... I'll put it towards Diablo 1, Relton. But you see why this bothers me so much? Because this would be so easy to fix. And it could be made optional. Because the only argument I've ever heard against this is, well, that's not the original. We need to stick to the original as much as possible, which A, is bullcrap, because there are plenty of features, core mechanic features, in this exact version of the game we're playing that weren't even invented yet in the original. And B, it's a toggle. If the only argument you can make that you don't like a feature is that you don't have the willpower to not use it when it's optional, that's on you. Probably Taco Bell, Christmas. That is, you're correct, Dub. That isn't on the list. Although, so here's the thing. I've kind of been playing chicken with Nintendo with the Metroid series for a while. And I kind of, like, if it comes down to it, I can always play Metroid Prime on the GameCube. You know, it's aged reasonably well, and I've got a controller, right? But, I'm okay with adding that to the list if the proviso of I'd rather wait for, like, a modern port is something you're okay with. Does that sound okay to Dub Dub? Yeah, you know what? That is a perfect example, Zed Slayer. The super assists, which are added to many, many Nintendo games, especially the modern Marios. For those of you not aware, those super assists are exactly what they sound like. They give you, like, the highest power-up, you are invincible, and you can't die from falling, like, from pit damage. You just, it's Doom Death mode. I hate that, personally, but I actually like platformers. But that mode is an awesome mode. You know, we've talked about this before, and I've given an example about this before, and that is with Mario Kart 8 on the Switch. They added the option to auto steer, and they added the option to auto drive. You remember that? And people were like, "Wah!" We're so upset about the fact that there's this optional thing which can make the game, which can remove the gameplay from the game and make the game substantially easier. And those people are stupid. My niece liked periodically using those modes. And even ignoring all the other many reasons why those modes can be useful or good, and the fact that they're completely optional. That was an awesome option for her. At the time, she was substantially younger and barely could play video games. So, she could play video game with her uncle that she wanted to do. She was actually seeking out, "Can I please play Mario Kart with you, Uncle Lore?" Yeah. Could you turn on the gas mode for me so I could just focus on steering? Sure. And what she would do is she'd grab her Joy-Con, the one Joy-Con, because the gas is being managed by the AI, and she would just focus. She would grab her wrist, like, it was really good. She would, like, and she'd really focus on the steering, and that would be how she'd play the game. Also, Dark Souls should have difficulty options. Anyways, thank you very, very much to Dub Dub. I do always appreciate and support. Let's... I'm debating if I want to do that. I'm okay with adding the Prime Trilogy. It's just going to triple the size of the requirement, obviously. Like we baked all of StarCraft 2 into one. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's commit to that. I mean, it'll be cool. We'll play Conker's Bad Fur Day, and then we'll play Metroid Prime. It'll be like Whiplash. Anyways. We're only level 37. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm actually extremely pro built-in cheats. In fact, good built-in cheats is a regular positive we've given to these games. Even Prime 1 has some tedium. The artifacts, that's probably going to be a negative. Actually, the one thing that's even better than built-in cheats is built-in console commands. Obviously, not every game can do that, but for all the venom I spit, Skyrim, oh my god, that is amazing built-in console. Yeah, true enough, Juju's. I'm just saying, the only gameplay negative I can think of, by memory, for Metroid Prime 1 is that frickin' artifact hunt. That's a good question, Mr. Red. Let me take another drink, even though I just took a drink. The Chozo ghosts never bothered me all that much, especially since several of them are optional. You just run through the room and ignore them. Well, that's pretty much the problem, Trayfin. The artifact hunt is a little backtracky, and it's not the good kind of backtracking. But it's also pretty walkthrough-itis-y, because if you don't know where they are, there's not what you'd call a lot of hints for where they are. And that's not great. Metroids are common in having walkthrough-itis when it comes to optional stuff. we gave a negative to Super Metroid for that. But to have it be for a mandatory progression thing, that's even worse. Anyways, point being, screw this game. I mean, this game is awesome. Please don't kill me, fans of Dragon Quest III. Jesus. At least there is a fairly large amount of X that's being dumped onto us in the final dungeon. It's something. Good morning, Baron. Prime 3 had a few sections I didn't care for in the Sky City by memory. But I think that's mostly because at certain points the map just isn't really all that helpful in the Sky City. That would be Other M, Crazy Norse. A game I hope I never have to review. Even the hypothetical Metroid lore run, pseudo-lore run, was going to skip Other M. Oh, the lore of the Prime games, ooh. I mean, the Metroid series has always kind of dipped its toes into horror, but Prime 1 is the first time... That's a lie. Prime 1 is the second time I really felt that. Like, the way that you could... It's not even just the audio logs, so to speak. You know, the text logs, the lore dumps. Just, like, scanning enemies or corpses as you're going through. You know, like, I'll show this off at the very, very beginning. You're going through the frigate, and you can scan the pirates. It's not a checklist thing. You don't have to do it. All that scanning lore is skippable. But, you know, death by severe evisceration. Death by severe melted external cranium. And just... It's so clinical in how it describes how horribly they were all butchered. And the specific thing that actually caused the death, you know? I hope so too, Cyberleaf. Fingers crossed. I mean, if we're getting Skyward, which is one of the things I was considering least likely to get on the Switch, there's hope, you know? And if I was Nintendo, I would probably save, you know, the Primes for a little bit before Prime 4, and Prime 4 is who knows at this point. Who knows when, I mean. Alright, time to check the map, because this is officially not worth my time. Where the hell am I? Okay. That would explain that. It's okay, nobody likes Xenoblade Cyberleaf. No, Vlad Muskell. I don't think that's even on the horizon right now. And the reason why is, This. Like, every time they have a bad console, they have a good console. That has actually happened back and forth each time. And yeah, Baron is correct. Sega had years of screw-ups. Sega's descent was a long and slow one. It wasn't like they suddenly screwed up and it was like, well, Sega just kind of did this. And then they finally pulled the plug and were like, you know what? Let's just make games. Let's become a publisher and a developer. Okay. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they go full hog onto portable. Because, yeah, Nintendo has always owned the portable market. And still does. The Switch still counts. And even if it didn't, the DS and the 3DS are still curb stompers. Still. Man, I hope they're not as bad as this. I believe. I remember Dragon Quest 4, 5, and 6 very fondly. I am dreading reviewing them now, because this is just awful. Thank goodness we resisted the urge to drop dead. There we go. No, they just say something really depressing, Mr. Red. And the person's like... They die of sadness. Don't mind me, I'm just fighting Godzilla here. I liked Dragon Quest IX, but let me be clear about this for a second. Let me put this into context. I don't remember most of the Dragon Quest games being grindy, but I remember grinding my face off in Dragon Quest IX. Dragon Quest VIII is already on the list, Vlad must kill, although we'll be playing the 3DS version. Level 38. That's actually good, because now we have Omni Heal, which will be rather useful. Yep, not even gonna try. Frickin' liquid metal slimes. Could you stop AoEing my entire party? God dang it. Oh, there it was. Hang on. Let's pull up the visual guide here. So each one of these changes your input. So I'm going to go left, and then up, and then up again. There we go. So I'm going to go up, up. Hope you memorized this from earlier. So then we want to go up, up. And then we're going to go up, up. Oh, god dang it. I didn't want to go up there. That's on me. That's on me. It's even on Vlad Must Kill. Give me a second, and I will jot that down for Quest 8. See you around, McDud. Have a good one. Take two. Actually, what I should do is I should flee and go refill my mana and start over. And I think I will do that. Probably not, Baron. I mean, they'll go down a little bit, but remember, supply has shrunk. It's not just demand that's going up. And of course, too many people are starting to become scalpers. That's just becoming more and more of a thing, especially since companies are effectively encouraging scalping, because, you know, they're evil. See you around, Jesse, who hopefully will someday have a sword. Have a good one. Now, I'll be honest. What I would do, if I had a brain, and was in charge of a major company... I mean, if I couldn't use the escape item here, I would probably give this game yet another negative. Crazy horse. Anyways, just saying. Kefka's Tower. Anyways, imagine walking out of Kefka's Tower. You can do it. What I would do is I would have either a person or a program that is being maintained by a person whose entire job it is to track all of the games or IPs that I own, mostly the past stuff, and track how much they're going for in terms of eBay or Amazon or whatever, right? And just kind of use that as a way to gauge general interest in older titles. And if I don't know, to use a random example, noticed that, say, Pokemon Black and White was selling really well, I'd be like, huh. And so I would capitalize on that and prioritize putting out a digital release of that game. Hey, you can buy Pokemon Black and White on the Switch. Here you go. $20. But I know that kind of insane, megalomaniacal, complex economic strategy is simply beyond most gaming companies. You know what's really funny about that is I tend to be against the idea that companies are designed to make money. But it's funny to me how much companies go out of their way to not make money. And instead try to waste money. How hard is it to digitize everything? It's not hard. It's not. Yes, Dakota. This is the same bridge. Oh my god, that was bull crap. Yeah, who would want to play old games? How many of you are aware of that quote? I don't remember it word for word, and I don't want to misquote it. It's a Sony representative. I don't think it was the CEO. I think it was just a Sony exec. me just pull up the quote. Let me go 2 steps. I want to find... It is Jim Ryan, you're right. I want the exact quote. And I quote. So I'm not misrepresenting. Let me use the exact quote here. When we've dabbled with backwards compatibility, I can say it's one of those features that's much requested but is not actually much used. That, and I was at a Gran Turismo event where they had the PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. And the PS1 and PS2 games, they looked ancient. Like, why would anybody play this? I mean, I own all 3 DS DS Dragon Quest GJs, that probably counts. I also own Pokemon Black and White 1 and 2. I'm sure half my N64 games are pretty expensive at this point. I don't know if any of my NES games are. I don't know. Yeah, what do you say to that quote? There's so many things wrong with that quote, I don't even know where to begin. It's like, oh, so you're completely stupid. Wow. On multiple levels at the same time. Wow. Yeah, someday, God willing, someday I will be rich and just as stupid as that guy. That's my aspiration in life, to be so successful that I can afford to stop using my brain. And you're probably thinking, wait a minute, that's what happens, right? They get rich and they stop trying. No, they were always stupid. How do you play Super Mario RPG on the Wii, Caspian? That is true, Craziness, you're right. We should cancel digital distribution forever! Wait. How do I get up there? Luck is the answer, yeah. Have you ever seen that, I think it might have been College Humor, but anyway, someone did a video, and it was in the style of, you know, it was difficult and hard work, but through perseverance, I managed to make it to the top. Except what it was really difficult being the son of a successful CEO. But, by golly, I decided to show up at work, dress in a tie, and my diligence has paid off. I'm now the president. Some might say it takes a strong person to go from being a low-level secretary to being president in 3 months. But I say, living the dream. Now, that's obviously a bit of a joke, but not really. That's, how that works. If you ever want to understand wealth, it's actually extremely easy to understand. Really, it is. The people who are wealthy are from people who've been wealthy, are from people who've been wealthy, are from people who've been wealthy. There are exceptions. Every now and again someone gets lucky. But for the most part, it's who you were born to. I mean, I don't want to get political, but look at Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump didn't earn a cent he's made, or lost, over his career. He was part of the Trump family, which was a hugely successful real estate business, which got big right after the wake of World War I. That's why Trump is rich. Well, okay, Trump's actually not rich, but you get my point. So, luck in being born to the right person, or luck in somehow breaking into the market, so to speak. That's how you get rich. That's it. That's the secret. You know the best part? I was actually thinking about this recently, because I'm a weirdo. And I realized there's no solution for that. The solution is Etch-a-Sketch. And that's terrifying in many ways. But that is the solution. Reset the board. Because so much of wealth right now is the way it is because it has been that way for so long. And that's why wealth is the way it is. And why wealth is where it is. So let's do that. I need to not go up this time. I need to go right and then up. There we go. Let's not screw up this time. Then I want to go left and then up. Being solvent, that's a little bit more feasible. And much harder. For example, I'm solvent. I am. I'm good. If somehow magically I stopped making money right now, I would have several years of I'm okay. I'd have to tighten the belt a bit, but I could do that, you know? Wait, what? S-Diesel? No! The problem is I can't answer that question in a sentence, Mr. Red. Do this, do that, 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 do this, do this, this, do that, and that, and that. That's what you need to do to be solvent. It's much more about maintenance than anything else, though. If you want a one-sentence way to help yourself with finances, track your input, track your output. Everything else is there's a whole lot of detail there, but that's the bare bones. Track your input, track your output. Alright, so where am I? I am there, and I need to be there, looks like. Do I invest? Actually, I do not. Yeah, you're right, it's the same with dieting. How much are you exercising, and how much are you eating? Throughput. It's all about throughput. The ratio of in to out. I don't know what's in that chest. We're going to go for it. Oh, it's a cursed weapon. We're not going to go for that chest. I actually have a credit card, but I literally only have it so I have a credit rating, and for no other reason. I treat it like a debit thing. Hi, Tessphere. And while I can't argue that Fred Trump did earn some of his fortune, you have to also acknowledge that he also got lucky. I mean, if nothing else, he survived in a time when a lot of people didn't. Can I just say, by the way, that credit rating is one of the dumbest implementations of economics that we have in the modern era, and we have some dumb implementations. It's so counterintuitive and so stupid the way we do it. At least here in the States. I don't know if that's true in other countries. Wait, you have no debt? Oh my god, you're an irresponsible spender. I'm pretty sure that that system is a scam. I don't know what better word to use there. Like, I don't want to say the word conspiracy because that's implying too much competency. But I'm pretty sure that credit rating is a form of a scam, perpetuated by banks most especially, in order to try and encourage people to deliberately accrue debt by rewarding them by being in debt. I may be about to die in this random encounter. I'm actually going to flee or die. Wow, no, I think we're actually going to die. Jesus. 4 enemies that all have AoE attacks. Spamming them. Yeah. Yeesh. Okay. Get up, crazy. Get up, crazy. Oh my god. There we go. Okay, now where are we? I love how there's no treasure in this freaking dungeon. I mean, there's a couple. In fact, there's an item that's considered mandatory. I'm not 100% sure why. We'll probably grab it. Hi, Hazardous. Apparently, crazy, you really, really just wanted to stay dead. Get up! Oh, get up! 5 more minutes. Crazy. Notice we're still not level 40. Oh my gosh. Now see, in fiction, the rules are different, Gum Gum. You'll notice in fiction, a lot of time, there's 2 types of rich people. There's the rich people who absolutely really didn't earn it, and they're usually bad guys. And then there's rich people who are extremely hardworking, brilliant, and are shown to have earned every penny that they have. You know, most people don't complain about the fact that Bruce Wayne is rich, for example. I'm sure that's done on purpose. After all, it wouldn't do to show them in a negative light, but it is interesting. What I find most amusing is my personal favorite fictional rich person is Lex Luthor. That is someone who earned it. Holy crap. Yeah, we also have a lot of good rich people in fiction. It's an exclamation mark, not a question mark, Ashley. Well, that was garbage. Well, I hope it's actually better than this, S-Diesel. I just realized Phantasy Star 1 is better on the gameplay axis than this game. I think. I'm not looking at the numbers right now. One of my personal favorite little tidbits, I know I've referenced this a few times, that about Wayne Enterprises and the kind of charity work they do, is Wayne himself goes and talks to a janitor worker who's a kid, who's in high school. He's like, hey, have you considered going to college? The kid's like, oh, I don't think I could afford it. And Wayne's like, well, you could apply to the the Wayne College Fund. The kid's like, well, how do I apply for that? Or how do I qualify for that? Excuse me. And Wayne says, well, you work for me. I always liked that. Oh yeah. Okay, so potential story negative. I want your guys' opinion on this, okay? Just beyond the bridge, the party sees a solitary figure locked in deadly combat with a many-headed monstrosity. And we stand and watch. Ortega attacks! This Kaswoosh. Damage. Full heal. Zap. Attack. Torrent of Flame. Ortega is out of MP. Torrent of Flame. Torrent of Flame. Is somebody there? I can't see, I can't hear. Please, if there's someone there's something I need to tell you. My name is Ortega. I come from a place called Alayahan. I I remember it all now. If you ever make it to Eliahan, I need you to find someone called Runus. And tell her I'm sorry. I wanted to make the world a better place. A place where she wouldn't have to be afraid. But I just wasn't strong enough, even though I've been down here and fighting for 16 years. And then he's dead. And there's nothing we can do about it. Thoughts? Yes, internal system error. That is our dad. He is referring to us. Could you stop hitting me for 50 a strike twice? I mean, his eyeballs had just been burned to a crisp internal system error, so... Also, yeah, we're like 16 now. We were closer to 0 when he left. I sure hope so, G. Dick Jordan. I always screw up your name. Jordan. Yeah, I get the point of the scene. It just fails for me completely. It doesn't even come out of nowhere, so I can't say that, but it's like, hey, so that's your dad, he's right in front of you, and we just sit there and watch as he dies. And then he dies, and that's the end of it. Right in front of us. Like, I get the intended tragedy, but it fails completely for me. If I'm being honest, the most I could say for this is I would not give a negative for it. I cannot give a positive for that scene. I can't. I'm sorry. I mean, he did mention us. He said, go, I'm from Eliahan. My name is Ortega. My daughter Runus. So we know that that's Ortega. We know that that's our dad. Is this it? Yep, this is it. Okay, so let's do this. Yeah, finding his bones with a diary would have actually accomplished the same general thing better. Honestly, though, if I'm being completely blunt, I don't think a NES game is capable of the story beat they were going for there. Because I've played Dragon Quest games before. I get the idea. Tragedy is the bread and butter of the Dragon Quest series, right? But that wasn't tragic. That was just there, and that's the problem. Presentation absolutely robs all of that scene. In fact, I mentioned this earlier. I said there's one more story negative I'm debating giving. That was it. But, of course, I do value your opinion, which is why I'm listening and asking people their opinion. Oh, don't worry, we do actually fight the King Hydra that killed him. It's just one of the last boss rush, because of course we have to fight 4 bosses in a row. It's a Dragon Quest game. Hello? Sorry. Daughter, and no, hazardous. He not only knew it wasn't us, but he wasn't even sure we were there. Okay. I think I kind of know how I would make this work. Hang on. See, now you got me thinking. How would I make that scene work? Hear me out for a second. Why would I like Dark Souls? That game sucks! I'm kidding. But no, I don't like Dark Souls at all. I can't stand Dark Souls. You kidding me? Ugh. No, thank you. I absolutely, Ashlam. No comments on specifics, but... So... Imagine for a moment that... Hang on. I gotta process this out. So first of all, let's get rid of the goddamn grind wall. Just for all the ways that I said you could do that. Okay, so let's do that. And let's say that we get to this part of the game. We get down to Alifgard. The monsters are tougher. Cool, I'm with that. But there's no sudden go run in a circle for 2 hours problem. We go through, we start getting the items as we're going through. And each area we go through, there's like a sign that someone's been there. You know, already. Like someone has recently gone through there. Maybe an NPC who references something. Or maybe there's like the corpse of a boss just sitting there. No need to even have dialogue. Just like you see, because we see, enemies have overworld tiles, like this statue I'm standing right next to. And so it's just kind of lying on its side, all broken or whatever. And again, you could still do this on the NES. Have open chests, exactly. Like have little tidbits that show that someone has just been through this and we're following them, okay? Then we get to the final dungeon. Now, I would pull a little bit of a trick here with the final dungeon. I would have the final dungeon have no encounters. Up to this point. No encounters at all. And in fact, if I'm being completely honest, what I would probably do is have no music up to that point. Just to add to the flavor of the scening. As you get to the final dungeon, it's just quiet. And you're just moving your way through it, and there's no encounters, and there's no enemies, and there's no chests, because there's like 5 chests in this dungeon. And then we finally get to that bridge, and we see him, and then the cutscene plays out, as it did, in-combat cutscene, and he finally, and the emphasis is made that he's just on his last legs, because he's been going full tilt for however long at this point. He dies, and the King Dragon wanders off, and, oh my god, what, Dad, and have the character, like, rush up to there, again, voiceless protagonist, but have the character rush up, please, tell my daughter I did this for her. Just gone, dead. That's when the music starts, and it's this nice low. If you're hearing the music, I know I'm talking over, so you probably can't hear it. But if you're hearing the music, it's this nice low. It's not a big, bombastic final boss music, or excuse me, final dungeon music like it usually be. It's this kind of tragic music, and have this song playing for the remainder of the dungeon, and now encounters get turned on. And after this point, we have the final little array of equipment, and there is actually chests after this point, and then we have the final boss rush, which includes the King Dragon that just killed our dad. Bam! That's how I would fix it, and all of that could be done even on the NES. Never mind the version we're playing. Oh yeah, and we loot our dad. That's very important. Speaking of all the treasure I just referenced, here it is. Hi, Corwellos. Okay, so now I gotta read what Ashlam said, because I didn't want to lose my train of thought there. Yeah, okay, I think I do see your point, Ashlam. Since they do want you to, do the Dragon Quest thing. They're not a character. The main character is not a character. And that is deliberate. That's a deliberate design choice. So, Dad's dead. You decide what you feel about it. You know what I feel about it. Actually, I was thinking about this. You know how we have all this Mega Gear on us that we've been wandering around getting? I like the idea of restructuring it so that instead of getting the Sword of Kings and the Auroral Armor and the Hero's Shield, it's all on him. Those 3 mega items, the ones that we carry forward into Dragon Quest 1, and I think 2, are all on him. And we loot him, and that's where we get the Mega Gear. And it's just thunk from that point until the final boss rush. So anyways, I'm willing to be talked down to not giving a negative for that. But to me, it's the worst story beat in the whole game. Hey, there's your dad, he's dead. And it's funny, because sudden death can be used to good effect in stories. It's just... And there's our 1 res item, which I'm going to put in the hero. Actually, I might put that on Harmacy instead. And another prayer ring, which Lord knows I'm going to be using in a minute. Yeah, let's put that on Harmacy. Speaking of which, everyone else can heal. You get the heal item. See, that's the other thing. You know me. I don't care if it's a NES game. I judge a thing based on how it is now. And I don't have anything else to add to that, really. Yeah, it's probably worth it. I mean, it's not... I don't want to sound like I'm dismissing your opinion, Ashlam. It's just... This game has really been pissing me off, and I'm trying to be as fair as I possibly can about that. And to not be like, "Urgh," but good God. It's Mega Man 7 all over again, I'm telling you. This is going to be a great review! Oh. Yeah, this is it. So, yeah, next, we're going to go up. And then it'll be the final boss rush. We're not yet 40! What's our experience at? A little over half of what the guide says we should be at. I mean, it just keeps coming up, Zolok. Sorry, I should read what you were saying. Hang on. Ah, other M. Yeah, so I've actually been thinking about that exact thing, and I think the answer is no. But at the same time, the answer could be yes. It's a discussion we'll have to have there. As you know, Zillow, I try not to consider franchises when it comes to reviews of a specific game. But at the same time, if there was suddenly a Mario Brothers game where someone's like, "Hey, what's up? It's a me, Mario," and then he just starts cussing left and right and pulls out a gun and just starts shooting people, I feel like I would be willing to give that Mario game a negative for that. Character assassination, you know? It's like, God is dead. Oh my god, this is... We might actually die here. Thankfully, Harmacy knows how to... The AI of Harmacy knows how to use that stupid stone. Oh my god! Stop rezzing! But yeah, like... I feel like it's easy to go ahead and give Other M a negative for character assassination, even ignoring the rest of the Metroid series. Wow! Because even in Other M, it's established that Samus is this super badass, and then she's this simpering idiot. So even my point is, even within Other M, I think it still qualifies as character assassination. Get up, Dakota. Get up, Dakota. Get up, Dakota. Get up, Dakota! Jesus Christ! Hi. Wait a minute. You're right, Ashlam! Negative to everything. I think... I think I'm willing to not give it a negative. That's... Because what I'm thinking here is that... I'm gonna hit the wrong button. I think what I'm thinking here is that if absolutely nothing else... Where the hell am I? I'm on the wrong screen. That's where I am. If absolutely nothing else, I would probably give it an aggregate negative. And it's the only aggregate negative we have, so... Hey, look, no music. So that by itself doesn't equal up to a negative, so there we go. Oh, I don't even want to know, Ashland. Alright, so it's time to save Scum. Speaking of dumb gameplay decisions. In fact, we're gonna really save scum this. Full tilt. So this is gonna be a little arduous. Yeah, I agree, Takoida, but again, it's just one cutscene. It's hard for me to give a full negative to story for one cutscene, which isn't that bad, you know? It's the worst cutscene in the game. I am scum. I actually don't remember why it's called save scumming. Like, I think there's a specific reason for that. That has nothing to do with the word scum. I think it's an acronym, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Oh, it doesn't tell me. Oh, it does. 145, 145. Our goal is 145 on him. Ah! Give me my mana! Okay. Shouldn't have done that, but whatever. Might be the scum engine, I don't know. It could be worse than at Ashland, because these would also take roughly twice or triple the time just from grinding than the other versions. Okay, so... yeah, now we do that again, and then we do it a third time. What's crazy's max? 178 and 145. Someone write that down. 178, 145, please. I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, there's 178. Now I need 145. Getting really bad rolls here. One more. There. Okay. Okay. Successfully save scummed. How do you make grind interesting? So hold up. Just to be 100% clear, when I say grind, it's a negative by definition. So what you're asking is how do you make leveling interesting? So there's a bunch of options, and I've seen a few over the years. The first and most obvious is to make the process of leveling fun. The combat, right? Make it interesting, or make it engaging, or make it flow. And preferably flow, because there's also the trash problem. What you don't want is to make this big, engaging, massive, epic battle, and then you get 10x after the end of it. Because that actually kind of has the reverse effect, right? It's a fun combat, but you have to do it 100 times. That's why flow is important. So you need to make sure that the flow of the leveling and the flow of the combat is good, and make the combat fun itself. Dragon Quest XI is actually a decent example of making this combat system fun, in my opinion. Because there's a lot of builds you can do, and there's a lot of different combos that are built into those builds, and you can choose your party members, which all have their own things, and blah, 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 blah. There's a sufficient amount of character customization and fun interactions with regards to what you can do in Dragon Quest XI that makes the combat substantially more interesting than, well, this. So yeah, next thing you could do, make each level significant. Now, they do that in this game. Staircase leveling is what I call that. But a third thing they could do is they could make it so that give the player something to do other than leveling while leveling. Try to put something kind of as an in-between sort of a thing, you know? That's harder to explain, but every now and again you'll have a game where it's like you're doing such and such, but wait. I can go change my job now and push this over here and switch this up. FF5 is actually a decent example of this. Now, FF5 still has a grind problem. I don't want to say that it doesn't. But my point is, like in FF5, you change up what you're doing periodically because you're like, okay, I want to level this, and then this, and then this, and combine this with this, and so forth and so on, right? Another thing is the encounters. Now, I kind of already hinted at this, but making the encounters interesting and fun is obviously something I want in general, but you have to make sure that it's sufficiently rewarding relative to the time investment. Let me restructure this a little bit. Imagine if the encounter rate is 1/10 of the rate it is, but the experience gain is multiplied by 10, or probably 20 or 30 actually. But the point is, the overall amount of gain you're getting from each combat is substantially higher, and there's substantially fewer combats. Now that by itself wouldn't do it, but let us then presume that you actually sit down and really design your encounters. Like, okay, I'm going to make this enemy spawn this thing. These guys have this attack which buffs these guys over here. And these guys have an attack which doesn't actually do anything unless the first guy is still alive. These guys over here, they do something random each time, so we're not going to put them into this encounter. They're going to be in another encounter. Or maybe they can show up at the same thing, and so forth and so on, right? So the idea there being that the encounters are sufficiently interesting, that they're fun and worth doing, and they're substantially rewarding with less repetition. Bam. That's how you make leveling fun, or at least that's several ways. There's more ways. There's more ways to make leveling fun. I also admit, when it comes to trash design, I like trash that informs bosses. That doesn't really apply to a game like this. Not really. But for example, I mean, World of Warcraft is the example of this, but in a game where there's a boss which has gimmicks and mechanics to it, having the trash be the tutorial for that boss is another thing that I think could help make that trash worth going through. But anyways, moving on. Let's save, just in case we haven't. Where are we at? Does it even say? I don't think it says. No, it doesn't. Okay. So anyways, final boss time. Or final boss rush. You're not boring, Ashlyn. If anything, I don't know. I think at least part of the problem is at this point in time, not only... Hey, Zoma. Not only have I been playing video games for the last 35 years, but I've seen so many good games and I've seen so many bad games that my tolerance has simultaneously raised and lowered, you know what I mean? When I see something that's boring or disinteresting, I'm just like, ugh. But when I see something that's awesome, it's like, yeah! That's one of the reasons I gushed so much about Dragon Quest XI, was because they fixed so many of the Dragon Quest issues in that game. Anyways, so, Runnus, here you are at long last. Here at the place of sacrifice, the altar to my greatness. I am Zoma, bringer of oblivion. All life shall be sacrificed to my glory. All shall despair. All shall kneel. Come, Runnus, offer yourself unto me. Arise, my minions, obliterate them, and let me feast on their suffering. Boss 1, the guy who killed our dad. By the way, another thing I might have done is make a little bit more lead up to the guy who killed our dad. I don't know. Food for thought. Yeah, I don't really have memories of grinding in 8. I ground in 5, I ground in 4, although that was actually kind of fun. I should talk about that. I ground in 6, God lord, I grounded in 6, and I grounded my face off in 9. 9 was very grindy. But I don't remember grinding in 8. And obviously I didn't grind it. You saw me play 11s, that was on camera. So I said I'd talk about it. In Dragon Quest IV, there's only one point in the whole game I ground at. It feels like the wrong usage of that word. There's only one point I grinded at in Dragon Quest IV, and I can't call it grind because it was a negative, so I was only one point I really stopped and leveled at in 4. Can anyone guess where before I say it? No, I didn't have to at the tower. I also didn't get all of, what's-his-face's armor. It's worth noting. One down. Oh my god, it's Baramos! So, it's when you get Torneko. Now, there's kind of a unique thing there. And this is something that I enjoyed probably more than I should have, probably because it was the first time I'd seen this type of gameplay. But while you're fighting as Torneko, you go out and you fight, and then you get items. And then you go back to your shop, and then you sell them because you're a merchant. And you just kind of... And that little bit of extra going back and selling the gear you get at the shop thing, I don't know, made that whole experience more enjoyable than it should be, to be completely honest. It also wasn't that long. I didn't spend that long there. Yeah, the Recettear thing. Or the Racketeer thing, excuse me, Racketeer thing. And it was kind of cool. I was with it. And again, it didn't overstay its welcome. And I went for the optional sword. That's actually not a bad idea, Arctic Dashigi. Another interesting idea, while we're on the subject. Well, you see, Kay, I'm not wearing hockey pants. Any of you who've played Pokemon Sword and Shield, that game actually has an interesting anti-grind feature built into it, which it absolutely does not need, but it does nevertheless have that feature. For those of you not aware, when you fight Mega Battles, or Dynamic Battles, excuse me, Dynamo, whatever, Mega Battles, you get candies. And those candies just give experience, to be given to whoever you want to. And they come in like extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, and huge, or whatever, for larger chunks of exp. So, as you're leveling, actually fighting the dude, you're also getting experience items on the side, which you can use to distribute at will. So, for example, let's say these bosses actually were giving experience items in addition to just the experience I get from fighting them. So I could dump all those experience items on Takoida, for example, who's my lowest level, get him caught up, or I could dump them on Runnus, focus on her, get her caught back up. You know, I could... It basically gives the player a choice of distributing experience and smooths out the leveling curve. That's another method. 2 down. We're actually doing okay so far. This stone is stupid, though, I'll tell you what. Oh, I can't use it out in combat? Oh, I think we're at max, never mind. Well, let's save. Scum. But yeah, Dragon Quest music, you notice I have not given a plus to music, and I don't think I'm going to. Well, there are a couple of good songs. I don't know, Dragon Quest music is its own thing. Sometimes, I agree with Ashlam's perspective, sometimes it's great, sometimes it doesn't belong there, sometimes it actively ruins a scene. You know, just to name one example of that. That was a problem in Dragon Quest Builders 2, if you remember. They also have a bad tendency to not have final dungeon music or, like, big boss music. They don't always. Sometimes they do. It's just... Every now and again, they're just like, yeah. I'll accept that. Well... No, I shouldn't. We've still got 2 bosses left, I think. 1 or 2. I mean, the orchestral approach to the music is fine. I'm not complaining about that. My complaint is its usage. Its music direction. Do he? Oh, right, we're already maxed. So let's not risk that this time. By the way, it's worth noting I may not beat this. After all this crap. We may have to turn around and go level some more. And as I've said, we're going to put a real solid effort in it. We're going to pay attention, see how well we do. And if we don't do well, if we're not having it, then I'm going to put the game down, because this has stopped being worth my time. I've already spent an hour and a half of off-camera time while trying to do other things, grinding. That is as far as I'm willing to go. Damn, that was awful luck. We're going to go and reset there. Hell, I'm grinding right now. Technically, I'm grinding saves, but still. Grinding procs, actually. Jesus. Not getting good procs here. I hope the seed isn't fixed. That would be funny. Alright, so let's see. There. Full mana. Boss 3. The Bones of Baramos. Cute. Definitely not a Necromancer. This is actually the easiest of these 4 bosses by far. All he does is hit like a truck. That was with double buffed health, by the way, or armor, if you were paying attention to that. Listen, we all know what we think of necromancers around here. That hurt. Not my land. This is what we call a meat wall. He hits hard, and he has a lot of health. That's it. There is no complexity to this boss. There's nothing wrong with a meat wall, but generally speaking, you want to be a meat wall to be a power check. You know, either a gear check or a level check. I don't know if this one was intended to be a level check. But now we're at the final boss. Make sure your levels are at least 40. We'll see how we do. How much HP does he have? Let's look that up, shall we? So we can kind of keep track as we go. $4,700. We're counting up to 47. That's our goal. Someone remember that number, please. 47. Oh, he's already maxed. Whoops. Good morning, Mother Mirset. I'm either about to beat the game or about to give up on the game. One of the two. We'll see. There we go. Full mana, full health. We need to hit 47. Let's see how we do. Still you cling pathetically to life, Runnus. Very well. Runnus. It seems only right that I, who will take such pleasure in your death, should do the killing blow myself. Now come. Come to me and show me how beautifully you die. Hey, a song. Alright. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna trust the AI. I'm glad I trusted the AI. So there's 3. Oh, that's fine, Zet's there. If you can't answer, then just answer none. Oh yeah, he likes to get rid of buffs, by the way. Oh right, I need to use the Orbalite. I completely forgot! I'm like, God, he is hitting like a truck! This is insane! Right. We need to be fighting. You can beat the stronger version of him, but let's debuff him. Actually forgot. It is optional. So that is how you... So you have come to learn how to overcome the wards of sorcery that protect me. It matters not. Come, dash yourselves on the unfeeling shoals of my might. Okay. So now we gotta restart our count. So 1. Much less damage. 2. 3. 4. 3. No, that's 4. That's 4. Slow but steady. 5. 8. 9. 9 for that. Noticing the goal here is to keep buffing to make sure that he wastes at least one of his turns each, or one of his actions each turn, removing debuffs. His defense, we lowered his defense by 200. 12. Yeah, multi-heal is why I would say you need to be 34 for this fight. 15, 16, 17. 18, 19, 'Course Res can fail. Yeah. He just goes too fast. I don't think there's anything I can do about that. 20, I think? I've lost count. One more try to get Dakota up, then I'm just gonna give up on it. Stay dead, Dakota. Right, the AI doesn't know how to use items? Except they totally do. Because Harmacy is using his item constantly. Whatever, I'll make him do it. Use your prayer ring, you moron. +1, I've lost track. Keep using the prayer ring. 20, +2. Really, I've lost track at this point. Gamble. Well, okay, we won. Or immediately died. God damn it. Oh, no, the gamble actually worked. Holy crap, the gamble worked. Holy shkamoly. Alright, Dakota. We need to teach you to have a brain. Use item. +1, I've completely lost track at this point. I think the menus are just 30, because I'm not streaming at 30. Yeah, screw it. Let's do a little bit of a reset here. He really does not want Dakota alive. I should probably mention that Dakota's in the back of the row, which means he should be attacked the least. The boss is just like, no, I really want Dakota to die. Dakota must die. You don't understand. I think I'm going to leave Dakota dead. He's officially been a drain on resources too long at this point. Sorry, Dakota. How do you do this fight without that stone? Jeez Louise. I wish, Azarus. I wish. Where the heck is... There it is. Oh, oops. So we're dead. That's game. That's game. Unless... No, there's no way. It's a shame, because I think he's about 3,000 down of the 47. And we're dead. I'm gonna give that one more try, because I think we came pretty close. I lost track, like I said. I started off bad, wasted way too much mana before debuffing him. And I spent way too much time trying to get Dakota up, which turned out to be a huge waste of time. He doesn't use fire damage, he uses ice damage, and the answer is no, I do not have ice resistance gear. I'll go and switch while we're at it. Make sure we're all good. Yep, we're good. Take two. So we're going to leave them on tactics for right now. The first thing I'm going to do is use this stupid item. Jesus. Yeah, this is the Wario ones, I think. But I didn't know that when I got them. I just thought they were cool and distinct colors. So anyways, take two. So I'm going to trust the AI for a little bit here. Let's count. 1. 5. Six. Missed at Savacon, but this is attempt 2, 10. And yes is the answer to your question. 11. Actually, probably 12. 13. $14. 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 22. That's halfway. The Defender, because that's, you know, multiplayer only. I think. Lost track. Back to AI trusting. Which is a good decision, it turns out, because hopefully they'll... Squid is dead. That's great. So now I have a decision. Do I try to res Dakota or not? He's got plenty of mana. It's not like he wouldn't be worth it. But that's several turns of me getting hits and not recovering and not doing damage while I'm just sitting here trying to get Dakota up. And it's a chance because screw me. I think I will spend one round trying to get to Koida. Just the one. No joy. Actually, no, I'm going to try one more round doing it, because Harmacy didn't do what I expected him to there. Please cast. Oh, thank God. Okay, so. Let's top off. 31, I think. I've completely lost track. I lack the ability to count, ladies and gentlemen. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Anybody remember that? No. Crazy back on AI. Wait, no. I just noticed his mana. Prayer ring. Oh, we are topped right now. Tried really hard not to trip at the finish line here, so I'm kind of being extra cautious. Harmacy's every round is being dedicated towards healing now. I was about to say, why are you casting when people need to... Oh, right, the AI can tell when the enemy is low on health. You have done well to defeat me. But know this, as long as there is light, so too must there be darkness. I see it. I see that which is to come. Another darkness shall rise. Another shall take my place. Yeah, some random dragon. And when he does, you'll be powerless to protect your craven kind, for you will long be dead. No, that's it. That's the actual final form. That's the final, no, really. Oh, we're dead. Now we're really dead. And yes, Takoida gets the killing blow. He's like, alright, look. I have had enough of you killing me. So if you wondered why that section of the dungeon isn't in Dragon Quest 1, that's why. above the clouds, the sound of something closing firmly shut is heard. Now we're stuck here. Actually, I admittedly do, Takota. Mostly in this one. And I could be talked into a story positive for external continuity. That's where our grave is in Dragon Quest 1, Ashlyn. Of course, we still don't have a map, because screw us. That's okay. It's whatever. I love it. The ceiling on the world shuts. And that causes daylight to come out. Let's not think about that too much. This is all dimensions anyway, it's not planets. Is it not, friend? The news hath reached us here already. Thy vanquishment of the great fiend is a miraculous feat indeed. What manner of being art thou to smite such a foe? I am in awe of thee. Yeah, me too. Let me get a save in here while I'm thinking about it. Just in case, you never know, crashes happen. The Lord of the Underworld is truly slain. Verily, thou art mighty indeed. I am engaged in the study of the methods of removal of curses, and I'm saying absolutely nothing different here. Happiness is upon me, for peace is upon the land at last, and hope, long dead, rekindled. What sayest thou? Thou gavest the Lord of the Underworld a drubbing? Zounds, thou art mighty indeed. Our forebears did descend into this realm. I mean, that would be an interesting way of explaining that, Mr. Red. Although, eternal daytime is actually pretty bad, too. I can just ask The Simpsons about that. Huzzah for Runnus, the hero! Thou didst defeat the Lord of the Underworld, didst thou not? Thou art awesome! Thanks. Lo, the light. Never have I seen it so bright. 'Tis like a dream. Oh, my eyes! My eyes! From the bottom of my heart I do thank thee. Thou hast brought the dawn at last. Silence in the royal chamber. Runnus, news of thy... I don't know why I'm doing an accent. News of thy deeds has reached us, and we have eagerly awaited the return of thee and thy companions. Thou hast done well. God attack! Thou hast done well indeed. I like the idea that the king had a yawn attack in the middle of a speech. Thou hast done well indeed in smiting dread Zoma, lord of the underworld. That thou art returned to us unharmed is a gift for which we give thanks to the Almighty. Morning hath broken our kingdom at last, and all is thanks to thine unstinting efforts. Though it seemeth that dread Zoma's demise hath sealed the doorway between our realm and thine own, Alefgard must now take its first steps as a world in its own right, and it must emerge blinking into the dawn of its becoming. All is thanks to thee, Runnus. Thou art a hero without equal. In recognition of thy glorious deeds, I do bestow upon thee our kingdom's highest honor, the title of Erdrick, which meaneth dwelling land in ancient tongue, a name befitting the land's chosen hero. From this day forth, thou Erdrick, formerly Runnus, shall be known to all as the embodiment of the land's strength. The story of thy deeds shall take its place amongst the legends of our realm, and shall ring down throughout the ages. For at least 2 games. And those other 3 with you, they're just losers. Nobody likes them. No one's gonna remember them. And your Denizen is gonna defeat the Dragon Lord by himself, you pansy. Kings are only in charge of one kingdom. Emperors are in charge of multiple kingdoms, Lord Harriman. Plus, emperors are usually evil, whereas kings are usually good. Sometimes. So, someone asked about the nature of the dimension magic going on here. So, this was a pocket dimension. I forget if it was made by Rubus or by the dude, Zoma, but one of them made this place. It wasn't intended to be... It's not a planet, like I said. It's a dimension. It's a pocket dimension. And so Runnus, savior of Alefgard, passed into the legend of the realm as Erdrick, hero of the land. And the whole idea is that now it's going to be developed out into more of a dimension, more of an actual place, and eventually birth its own place, which, if you're paying attention, is exactly what happens at the end of Dragon Quest Builders 2 as well. You know, the illusion becomes its own realm. When the celebrations finally died down, the hero left only a sword, a suit of armor, a shield, and an amulet behind. And these became great treasures of the kingdoms for about 2 generations. Erdrick's sword, armor, shield, and mark, as the sacred amulet came to be known, were handed down throughout the generations, all 2 of them. It might be 3. I mean, remember, it's only 3 generations between 1 and 2 as well. And thus was a legend born. And Erdrick was always a she. Take that! No, and not just because she was a vamp. Credits! Who's this guy? I think I've heard of him before. Oh, I know, Ashlam. You missed it, but I commented on it when we first hit it. Now, that being said, obviously I don't care about something back in the day. I mean, I'll discuss it in historical context. But the relevance is how it is now. I do think the twist is okay, and when combined with the Alefgard section and the external continuity, I think that does equal up to a story positive. So, boop. But, I obviously can't think of any new gameplay stuff because we're done with the gameplay. And I've already scored the post-game. So, that means our final score for this is going to be +7 -1. Yeah? It's an old RPG. Yes, I know, I just mentioned that's how it goes. R2. I know, you weren't here when I scored them. But I gave them a negative. Just to summarize. And it's okay, we actually have established precedence on that negative. I even double-checked. Because we gave that negative to Final Fantasy X. For what is effectively the same reason. Today, 13th. Yeah, I can never think of the name of the damn place. Whatcha-Fig and the Ice Dungeon, or what I was talking about. The Route to Zenithia, that's it. To be continued in Dragon Quest I and Dragon Quest II. We could save our dad. We're not going to. He gets to stay dead. What's funny to me is I would say that each Dragon Quest game... I mean, how do I phrase this? It's Final Fantasy. They follow the same damn path that Final Fantasy has. FF1 and Dragon Quest I are really... This is loud. Oh my god. Are really... are basic, but decent, you know? They're bare bones, but they don't do a lot wrong. Final Fantasy II and Dragon Quest II both do a huge amount wrong on the gameplay axis, and Final Fantasy III and Dragon Quest III start moving the story into a better direction, and the gameplay into a worse one. And then Dragon Quest IV and Final Fantasy IV is when the series started getting better. Although even that I shouldn't say, because I've never played the original Dragon Quest. No, I did, didn't I? No, I did play the original Dragon Quest IV, never mind. But I don't remember it. So, I assume the original Dragon Quest IV got better. I have no idea if that's true or not. Because I predominantly remember the DS version. But yeah, that is Dragon Quest III. It looks like I have barely finished in time to get the rumination done before I have to go do some yard work. Oh, no kidding, Ashlam. Like, let me give some final thoughts really here, because I know some people like to jump into these final thoughts. This game would be so easy to make better. I like to play the one change game. One change, smooth out the experience curve, done. I mean, there are other issues with the game. I don't want to sound like there aren't, but that would be such an easy change, and it would be so quick, and it could be optional to satisfy the people who want to go grind. Done. I hate to reiterate my point there, but what's aggravating me is how incredibly simple of a change that would be. But a proper remake would be awesome. I don't know if we'll ever get one. I've noticed they've kind of left the old Dragon Quests alone. 4, 5, 6 got proper remakes. 7 got a proper remake. 8 got a remaster. 9, 1, 2, and 3 are just kind of there, right? I mean, even these are ports of the mobile version, which are ports of the SNES version, which is also related to the Game Boy Color version. So these aren't really at that point of proper remakes. You know what I mean? Either way, I think it could absolutely learn and change from that, but of course I have no idea if the interest will be there, and of course I have no idea if they would release it in the States. I don't know what the Dragon Quest series is doing at this point. Builders 2 sold well, 11 sold very well, so here's hoping. I'm going to go ahead and chop off. That being stated, tomorrow we'll be starting Drakengard. So, that'll be fun. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you next time.